I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could have roll, please.
Opperly. Barton.
Here.
Butterfield.
Here.
Handback.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Spar.
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Warren.
Thank you. Everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes from our last meeting from October. Nobody has any objections. I hear a motion for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes as of October 23rd as stated.
I'll second that.
Voice roll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Approved.
Before we start tonight, council's going to read just a short statement on the zoning board.
Thank you. Public hearing is being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to address the zoning board will be sworn in by our court reporter and will give their testimony under oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the zoning board of appeals will make its determination. 4 yes votes are required to obtain their approval. Purpose of the public hearing is for the zoning board to hear testimony regarding whether the proposed variance meets required legal standards for the variance to be issued. Testimony should be limited to the relevant factors set forth in Illinois law and in a village code. Rules of order govern the conduct of tonight's public hearing. As the chair, unless recognized by the chair of the meeting, no one should speak in the public until recognized, and speakers should follow the directions of our chair. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll start with the first case tonight. Is number 18-01. LT Realty LLC and Grimm Enterprises LLC is requesting a variance for 320 Main Street and 321 South First Street. Petitioners are seeking a zero lot line setback between the buildings located on lots 1 and 2, as buildings do not meet the 6-foot rear setback as there is a common wall. Petitioners are also seeking a zero lot line setback for pavement between lots 2 and 3, as there is not 7.5 between the pavement and lot line of either lot. Who's ever going to speak this case? Jim, you want to just step up and Arlene will swear you in?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jim Beckendorf, and I represent the petitioners in this action. And with respect to this, it's basically, you have the petition in front of you, and from what I see, and according to Roger, you all have the copy of the plat as well that shows the lots 1, 2, and 3. The main aspect of this is the fact that LT Realty, basically Keeley and Ryan Letourneau, are basically acquiring lot 2, which is the building, the back half of the building that is there. The address has been given at that is 321 South 1st Street. The building used to just be all 320 South Main. It's all one contiguous building. There's the survey to go through and actually demarcate a division along an interior common wall. And so that's what is shown as the lot line here. There were a couple changes with respect to that. You see the bump outs if you look at it. That was just to accommodate the utility room and things of that nature. But bottom line is, nothing is changing with respect to the exterior building itself. Nothing is changing as to any of the pavement or other areas for parking. The whole point of this is to go ahead and allow the final sale of Lot 2 from Grimm Enterprises LLC over to LT Realty LLC. This could be done either through, developing basically a condominium. Then it would be the building itself, not the underlying real estate. Clients wanted to do this as an actual fee simple sale, thus sell the entire parcel of real estate, thus all of Lot 2. Part of this also is necessitated by the parking requirements, because this area has to have various parking for both the building on Lot 1 and on Lot 2. That parking is served by what is shown on here as Lot 3, basically with respect to the full other area that is north, and it is immediately south and contiguous to the plaza. And so that whole area of parking that wraps around the north side of these buildings, and then likewise on the east side, it is accessed both from Main Street and from First Street. And so there is an agreement as far as for parking and easement across all of Lot 3 for all of the parking for both the buildings on Lots 1 and 2. So because of the fact that this is a division right down a building, down the middle of a building, literally, through a wall, it would be a situation where there is no ability of having any setback between the building walls themselves, since it is a common wall. So that's the reason why we need the rear setback between lots 1 and 2. Then the other aspect, as far as between lots 2 and 3, which is dividing the parking area, there is no great ability to go ahead and suddenly carve out or cut out and dig out the pavement that is currently parking and the access to these properties. And therefore, we have to go ahead and, instead of having a green space, we're asking for the variance there to go ahead and have that remain as a paved area for parking and access. That not only serves the properties, but it also allows any type of emergency vehicles and things of that nature to have direct access to Sucre, which is the business that is in the back portion, along with the back part of the lot, and likewise continue to have access to the rest of the properties. So at this point, it's pretty straightforward, most of it in the application, so I didn't know if there's any particular questions that I could address.
So do these parcels already have separate tax? Are they separate tax parcels, all three? Or is it one?
Right now, it is all one.
But you'll separate that out once
That
you...
will all be separated, and there'll be 3 separate tax IDs for it, yes.
Does anybody in the audience wish to comment to this case? I don't have a question. Roger, as far as the city?
I have this one question.
Mhm.
Is there a firewall in between these two buildings then?
Through part of it, there is a concrete block wall through most of it. Part of it is through separate doorways, and that's what I was referencing as far as the little jog area. That was to go around and divide off the kitchen that is in Sucre at this point from the utility area. So they would meet the drywall requirements as far as fire code, because it is the 5/8 drywall that has been installed, and it's concrete block through another section of it.
Now, how about up in the attic area?
The block wall actually does go, or the wall itself does actually go all the way up.
Okay.
So,
Our fire chief had been through and everything's in good in his estimation.
With no further questions, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant case number 18-01 under 1010-2C as presented.
I'll second it.
Roll, please.
Butterfield,
Yes.
Hanback,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Approved.
Jim, you have the variance.
Yep.
Thank you. Our next case tonight, case 18-02, Kyle Royster is requesting a variance at 405 North Morton Avenue. Petitioner seeks a variance of the setback requirement, section 8.1.5, to add a sign to existing pole located within the setback for the right-of-way. Step up.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth,
Thank you. My name is Jim Manning. I'm with the law firm of Heil, Royster, and Peoria. On behalf of the firm and our client, Jim Loof Realty, we're petitioning for a variance to allow for a sign. Jim Loof came to us. We do a lot of work for them, and specifically real estate closing. So they came to us several months ago and offered some space inside of their real estate office here in Morton for us to handle real estate closings. And so we're hoping to, we got all the network conduit and piping done and hope to open in there probably sometime in mid-February. What we'd like to do is add a sign because it's not very visible. People coming to closings are not going to, we thought about putting a sign on the building at first, either on the front or on the side, but then we realized that people coming to the closing aren't going to know where we're at. So there's very little visibility. So we're asking to put a sign out. Maloof has a sign out by the road, right on the corner there across from McDonald's. And it sits within the setback, which is why we're asking for the variance. But it's a good location, we feel, for our sign to make it visible so that people, when they're coming for a closing, know where we're at, because otherwise they're going to be driving around trying to find our office for the real estate closing, not be able to find us. So it's, it's kind of a smaller sign. I think it's like 45 by 18 that we would fit right under the Jim Luke diagonal there. That's lit up. Our sign will just be a vinyl, two-sided, sturdy vinyl that will just attach to the sign. I don't think it's high enough off the ground where it's not going to obstruct any visibility of cars coming in either direction. So we're just simply asking for a variant to allow us to attach our sign to the existing pole within the right-of-way, which is already in existence there pursuant to a variance that's already been granted.
I don't have any issues. Nobody, does anybody in the audience wish to comment in this case?
Is that sign gonna be lit?
No.
No.
With no other question, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant case number 18-02 under 1010-2C as presented.
I'll second it.
Roll, please.
Handback,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Butterfield.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. That was our last case. Roger, do we have any other business?
We do not.
All right, without further ado, I hear a motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
All
Second.
in favor, say aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.